This style is one of those simple styles that I will create, but at the end of the day, I will take longer time that I will usually use because of so many mistakes of losing and stitching again. I don't know why, but anyway, let's go on with the style. So I took out 4 inches my total half length measurement because it's an off shoulder, and then I marked my bust point, and then I marked my half length at 14 inches. So this style is for a 7-year old, 7 to 8 year old, depending on how big or small your child is. So I just connected the lines straight. Then the next thing I'm doing is to mark my neck width. For this, I am marking at 3.5 inches. Remember how the wider you're marking, the wider the neck is going to be. And then from that 4 inches, I went down by more 1.5 inches for my neck depth. That means I am marking my neck depth at 5.5 inches. Then I'm going to go ahead and connect this to my neckline. In fact, after making this style, it seems like my neck width is smaller than I would want it to be. So if you want yours to be wider, or your child is bigger than 6 inches, you can go ahead and increase it a bit more. But if yours is smaller, you're making for a smaller child, please go ahead and you can leave it this way or reduce it depending on how old you are working with. So the next thing I marked is my bust point, and then I connected it to the neck width. And then I'm going to go ahead and mark my waistline divided by 4, and then I'll go ahead and connect to this point, to the bust point. So I'm not adding any allowance on this pattern paper. We are going to be doing that once we transfer it to our fabric. If you haven't subscribed up to this moment and this is your first time of meeting clicking on this channel, welcome. You are highly welcome. Please consider subscribing to this channel, and if you find value in this video, please give me a thumbs up. So I've transferred this to my pattern paper. Remember what we just cut out is for our front, and you can see I added ½ inch all around, except for my seam side I added 1.5 inches. So I have my fabric, my lace, my bridal satin, and then the net. That's what I have there. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out my back bodies with the same pattern. So I'll fold my fabric into 2, and then I'll place my pattern on it. Whatever you're going to be placing, you're going to be having your seam side and your zipper allowance on this pattern paper. So bear that in mind. And every other side I am adding ½ inch stitching allowance to it. Just the same side and the zipper allowance that had more allowance that has more allowance than others. Once I am done cutting this out, I'll use the same pattern to cut out my lining and then my bridal satin that will be inside the lace. So remember we took out 4 inches from the total measurement. So that's what I cut out here, plus 1 inch stitching allowance to join this to the lower part and then to the other side, to the back side. So I have 2 pieces of it, and then let's cut out the design on the armhole area. So for this design, my fabric is folded into 2. For this side, this is where it's supposed to be on the armhole. We have 4 inches, and also we have 4 inches on this side. You can see the way I curved it. Please go ahead and do the same. So I'm going to be doing front facing front, and I'll stitch at that curved area. In fact, this is supposed to be open. That's the length of this is supposed to be double. I don't know how to explain it so that you guys will understand, but because my fabric is not enough, that's why I cut out just a more like one side of the sleeve pattern. But it's supposed to extend towards the back. I don't know if you understand, but I think I've done something about this kind of tutorial on my channel. If you watch that video, you will understand what I'm trying to say. So this is the fabric I cut out. For this I have 4 inches, so I folded on the two side by ½ inch, and then folded at the center of it. If you have your iron, please go ahead and iron at this point. So I'll go ahead and fold this into 2. Then I'll bring in that I'm just trying to get the center. Then I'll bring it in this lace piece and making sure I place it at the center. So this is what I'm saying, that this piece is supposed to extend to the back. By the time you open it like this, it's going to extend to the back. So I'll place it inward by half of an inch, and then I'll go to stitch from one side to the other, and I'll do the same thing for the other side. So this is what we have after we are done. So we're going to go ahead and work on the bodies. So we're going to work on the front bodies. I'm going to open up my bridal satin, the front pattern of it, the front side of it, and then I'll place the back of my lace on top of it. That's the front side of my pattern of my bridal satin is facing the back side of my lace. I hope you understand this. Then I'll bring in my sleeve or my sleeve stripes and then I'll place it in the way you see me do. I'll place it and then I'll get my pins and pin it down just to keep it in place. And I'll pin the other side down as well. Once I am done with this, I'll bring in my lining. So I'll bring in my lining and I'll use it to cover this up. So what we are trying to do is just to turn this to the right side, to turn it inside out. And I'll first of all pin that V-shape area that we have. That's where I'm going to be pinning first, and then I'll start pinning every other side of the bodies. When you get to the armhole area, please do well to push that in there inward before pinning it down. So for this kiss style, if you want it to be like ball gown effect, please do well to attach your lining, your hardnet and co inside this. So I'll go ahead and stitch this all around. I just wanted to put that out so that you guys will know the reason why you see some style is bulky kind of. So I'll make notches around that V area so that I will be able to turn it to the right side. So this is what we have. Once we turn it to the right side, make sure you push everything out and it's so that it will lay well. So this is it, and I also did the same thing for the back bodies. I attached the back side as well. So the next thing I'm doing is to arrange my fabric well, and then I'm going to go ahead and stitch on the two seams. So remember we added 1.5 inches, so yes, that's what I'm going to be using to stitch it down. So this is the fabric for my gathers. I cut out 3 yards, that's 36 inches times 3. I took out my half length and then cut out the remaining part of it with adding 2 inches allowance, stitching allowance. So I'll go ahead and hem this, and then I'll run a loose stitch, a loose gather stitch, and gather it afterwards. So this is after I'm done. I'll bring in the bodies. If I tell you guys the mistakes I make while making this style, in fact, even me, I can't explain what happened. I keep losing, I keep making mistake, and I keep losing. In fact, at a time I got frustrated, but I started the style already. I had to finish it. So after I was done stitching the half length to the gather side, I'll close off my zipper allowance and then attach my zip. And that's all for this style. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you find value in it. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up for thank you for the stress I went through. Hey, subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed to my channel already. And to my old subscribers, I said thank you for all you do for me. And I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to share.